Stakeholders from across the building and construction industry have called for urgent and effective measures to tackle the persistent issue of building collapse in Nigeria. This demand was made during an interview in Abuja where key players in the sector spoke on improving standards and ensuring structural safety. They said it is important to foster collaboration among regulators, professionals, and artisans to address challenges such as substandard materials, inadequate enforcement of building codes, and quackery in construction practices.
Most times, honestly, one asks, when things happen, one asks that, where is Standard Organization of Nigeria in all of this? If you go about all our building materials markets today, you discover that what you find out there are much more substandard material, such that, these substandard materials are even now being taken for granted that, it's the normal. That Standard Organization of Nigeria is now talking about the need for us to adhere to standard practices in the industry, especially in the building industry. Honestly, it cannot come at a better time than this. And I believe that if SON will actually wake up to their responsibility, we see that it will help to address majority of the problem or challenges that we are having as concerns building collapse in the country.
Actually, generally in life, we talk about safety. When you talk about safety, you talk about doing the right thing at the right time. When we want to build, you need to have a competent designer who actually will do, before embarking on the design, we do environmental impacts to know how the land is and how suitable it is. And after that, when you are going to choose somebody to build for you, you need to pick people who are professionally qualified. For instance, in Koren, we are the one that regulates engineering in all ramifications. And we have the co-born people who are actually builders. So you don't pick from the road. When you pick from the road, you will actually have a problem with yourself. Probably you engage the quacks. And apart from that, the material procurement has to be well tested. That is why SON, they are involved in testing of material that come from abroad and even that come from actually Nigeria.
Key stakeholders in the industry also addressed the role of proper design and the use of locally appropriate construction methods. They highlighted the prevalence of substandard building materials in the market and called for the enforcement of building regulations and tougher penalties for non-compliance.
The building collapse is like an industrial process. And each process, if it's not carried out properly, you discover that you have a defect. And this defect can lead to building collapse. Now you are talking about enforcement. Enforcement is a collective responsibility. Government alone cannot withstand that. Despite the fact that government is in charge of making laws. The National Assembly makes laws and so on and so forth. But as you make law, are you making the materials available? Do you have an alternative? Are you into the M&E? What I mean, monitoring and evaluation. Are you into the training components? So building collapse has a lot of process involved. Enforcement by government alone will not stop it. There are quite a lot of factors.
Builder Samson Opaloa, chairman of the Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria, Carbon, reiterated the council's commitment to tackling the issue.
Let me say that buildings don't collapse on paper. But buildings a building is a multi-stakeholder activity. That is to say that so many stakeholders are involved, so many professionals are involved. And as we begin to prioritize the expertise that each professional possesses and utilize it appropriately, the story will change. And we have moved even beyond the training of the tertiary artisans, tertiary professionals. We've gone down to the tactical artisans and technicians. We have begun to train them, to license them, and to certify them. And we are going beyond that to all those who have acquired some form of competencies in different methods and areas. We are bringing them under what we call the recognition of prior learning, so that we assess them, know what they are capable of doing, know what they lack, and give to them what they lack so that they can be more competent.
Meanwhile, they called for the government's commitment to enforce standards and improve the quality of building materials in the country.